Okay, we're back and we're going into a brand new exercise. We moved the box. It's now the long box series. This is for the upper back muscles. So she's going to come over onto the box. She lays down, and whenever we're in training, they say you rest at the nipple line. You can play with that. Some people like to be a little further where their chest is actually off because they don't like that pressure. Other people prefer to be a little more secure on. So just play with it. You just don't want it to be digging into your rib cage, okay? The feet are together. She's got everything energized through. We have it on 2 cords, so you want to go from that 4 to the 2. Otherwise, you'll know. You won't be able to move this. From there, she's going to reach as high up on the cords as she can, or on the straps, and then I like to wrap it around with this particular machine. And her arms are just nice and long. So she's starting in this beautiful, long, almost like Superman position, and her head is lifted. The back of the neck is pretty long. She's not letting her head hang, and she's not jamming the back of the neck. So from here, you exhale to prepare, a little bit different than some. And she's going to inhale, drag her knuckles on the floor, and bring them as high up as she can, trying to get them hip height. She does this really well. And then you exhale as you come back out of it. So there's only 2 breaths in this one. It's not a 4. Or it's 1 breath, an inhale and an exhale. And she does it again. Little pause, and slowly releases. So it's a steady pace. It's nothing is super fast here. There's a pause and release. There's 6 of these. Her wrists stay in line with the rest of her hand. She doesn't let that wrist break. And her body maintains throughout the whole thing. She hasn't lost any of this. Was that 5 or 6?
I'm going to do another one because I don't know.
Try to do 6. Maybe you did an extra. Moving on to the next one, her hands are going to go down to the knots on your hand and foot pieces have knots. You're going to reach for those knots. Her arms come up high into a T, okay? And then same thing, exhale, prepare. Inhale, she brings her arms back around. You're trying to let them hover over your bottom, but some people can't reach that far, totally fine. And then she comes back out. Those arms don't drop though. You go from the T, back behind, and you stop at the T. So don't let the hands go further than that. Perfect. And you swing back. There's that squeeze back there, back to the T. This is 4. And back to your T. 5. T. She's got 1 more, keeping that powerhouse pulled in throughout. And then from there, she's going to throw the straps into the well, and she's going to hang. You get to completely relax and let everything go here. Take a few breaths like that, and then she'll step on. From there, we're going to put the box away, and we're grabbing the foot bar. So we're going to do knee stretches. This one's a little different. It's the full exercise, where before we were just doing a single leg. So it takes a little time to attach the foot bar because we've got to make sure those little pegs are in. And then we're going from a 2 to a 3. And I like to adjust the headpiece up because it does make a banging sound. So I don't like to hear that. She's going to kneel on this with her feet against the shoulder blocks. The hands are on the foot bar. There's a round back and a flat back. Her hips are going back towards her heels. She's going to round the upper body, and she's going to have a beautiful straight line, well, not straight line, but braced from her wrist all the way through her shoulder into her hips. But from her hips down, that's what's moving. So you want to keep this shape throughout the entire exercise. So from here, she's going to press the carriage back and bring it in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then from there we go into the flat back. 15 of these. Her back is nice and flat. The same thing, it's just that brace. It's shoulder stability and pelvic stability. She goes in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Very nice. A lot of people get really hot during that one. So from there, we're going to lower the headpiece and we're going into bridging and pelvic lift. So you're getting a little bit of a break here, which is nice. All 4 cords go on. You lay down. Feet go on the foot bar. and you just settle in. So this is your break. Take a little bit of time, wiggle around, make sure you feel like the pelvis, check both sides of the pad, make sure that you've got your hips are even, you're not to one side or the other. Same thing with your feet, the head is on the headpiece. So then you exhale and you take a few breaths here. And then when she's ready, you're gonna pelvic tilt. So she's gonna pelvic tilt, you're gonna pelvic tilt. Again, you're just checking with the back. You just did a lot of work, so we wanna check in with the back and make sure it's still good. And it gives you a moment to breathe. After the pelvic tilts, 4 of those, she's gonna turn that into a bridge. And with the feet on the foot bar, just like we mentioned in the previous video, you get to go up really high and you get to stretch out the back of the neck and you get to kind of play with it and do what feels good to your body. She's taking her time, she's lifting the spine, peeling it off, lowering it down nice and slow. And this is her last one. And then we'll introduce another new exercise. Okay. So for pelvic lift, her feet are gonna go heels wide. So we're going to the edge of that foot bar. And then she's gonna lift herself up just enough that she's able to put her hands together in a prayer underneath her bottom, and then she can remove her hands, but she wants to keep her bottom at that height. For that, after that, she's gonna straighten her legs all the way out, the knees fully extend, but her bottom stays high, and she brings it right back in. So we have 6 of these. It's a great booty exercise. I happen to really like this one. If you're having any back issues at all, it's recommended that you don't do this because it'll go right into the back, especially if you're not good at keeping your powerhouse pulled in. But if you're good at it, this tends to be a really kind of fun one to do. It's a little bit of an inversion. One more. Then you come back in, you just melt the spine down, and then you can come off. From there, we're gonna go into another arm series, so our seated arm series. We're gonna move the foot bar just so it's out of the way and it's not gonna bother anybody. And then we take the cords down to 2. The headpiece is still down, so she's gonna face back for biceps and triceps, but instead of kneeling, now you can either do this in a cross-legged position, or you can test to see how good your posture is, whether you sink into your pelvis or you're able to lift out of it with long legs. So she's gonna do this with long legs. And your legs just go straight through the shoulder blocks. All right, so she's gonna grab those. So again, she's someone who's able to sit with long legs without having to pop the knees and keep good posture. If you find that you sit on kind of like on your back pockets, you definitely want to cross your legs. So one isn't good or better, it's really what works for your body. This just happens to work for her. So from this position, she's gonna put those elbows on the shelf again for those biceps. She's gonna flip the palms, she's keeping her wrists in line, and she's gonna just bend and straighten. So we're back to 10 of these. Good. And she's able the whole time to maintain this posture. She's not leaning back in any way. And you'll find a lot of times if you're not able to do those or strong enough, you will tend to lean back. So feel around for that if you happen to be doing it. And just be honest with yourself, because you will get stronger. Nice. 8, 9, and there's 10. From there, the arms just flip all the way around, the knuckles face the floor, and she's gonna glue her elbow to her sides. From there, all she does is bend her elbows and bring it back, but there is a little pause right back here for the tricep. So it's just a bend of the elbow and pulling back. That's it. Again, the wrists stay nice and strong, nice and straight. She's not letting that bend. She's still sitting nice and tall. The upper back is getting a good workout. So that was arms facing back. Now we're going to turn around and do arms facing front. Same thing with this one. You sit against the shoulder blocks, but you have the option of straight legs or cross-legged. And she's taking a moment to check and make sure she's not sitting into the shoulder blocks, because a lot of people will just dump right in there. Try not to do that. Okay, so serve a tray, hug a tray. We're going to start with serve a tray. The elbows are in. We press it straight out in front, serve it around the room, and bring it back to the kitchen. Press it out and serve and back to the kitchen. So the entire time she's tall. She doesn't let the arms go back too far. She keeps the chest nice and lifted. It's perfect. We do 10 of these. And then for hug a tree, the arms are out, nice bend with the elbow. She brings it in, and you look like you're hugging a tree, and then you let the arms open, and again, squeeze. So you might feel the rib cage squeezing as you do that, especially when the fingertips come together. And the same thing, she's not letting her arms go back too far. 7, 8, 9, and 10. And then she can just throw those straps on the ground. All right. Elephant is next. We're going to keep it on the 2. We're going to move this bar to the high position, and she's going to step. She's going to put her hands on the bar. She's going to step on the carriage, and she's going to bring her heels against the shoulder blocks. The toes lift up, and you're going to try and keep those heels digging in, and then she's going to make sure she's not supinating or pronating the feet. She's got her belly lifting. I always say imagine a fire right here. So she's got her belly lifting up, and again, she's stabilizing through the wrists and the shoulders. So she's going to send the carriage back, back, and bring it in without slamming the stopper. Back, back, in, back, back, in, back, back, in. Now it's a back, back, and a quick in. Back, back, and in, back, back, in, back, back, in. Let's reverse it. So it's a back, and then it's in, back, in, back, in, back, in. Very nice. And then from there, she's going to go ahead and step off. We're going to stop this video and then continue in just a little bit.